Ever felt like you're, leaving yards on the table in your golf swing?
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe there's that nagging ache, lower back, neck maybe, just won't quit, kind of holds you back from really unwinding through the ball.
Yeah, those feelings aren't just frustrating. They're clues. Your body's trying to tell you something important.
Right, it's telling a story.
Exactly. And today, we're going to dive deep into that story. We've got some really fascinating insights here from a real-world golf fitness assessment, looking at two different people.
Okay.
And it's basically a masterclass in how getting a precise diagnosis can unlock not just power, which everyone wants, but also, real comfort and maybe even longevity in your game.
So it's like a shortcut to understanding what might be holding your swing back.
Precisely.
And one thing that really stood out from these assessments is this concept of a golf fitness handicap,
Mm-hmm.
which sounds intriguing. It's like a unique way to measure how physically ready you are for golf, sort of like your regular handicap measures scoring.
That's a great way to put it. And the sources we looked at even highlighted this competitive thing, right? One participant actually beat him by 7 points
Hmm.
on this fitness handicap.
Wow, right out of the gate.
Yeah, it shows pretty directly how being physically capable can give you an actual edge.
Yeah.
It's not just about how well you swing.
It's about how well your body lets you swing.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the key.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We're going to break down the actual physical screens, the power tests, even some swing analysis stuff that show what's really going on under the hood for these individuals. And crucially, connect that back to what it means for you, the listener. Whether you're chasing, more clubhead speed or maybe just want to walk off 18 feeling good for a change.
Yeah, feeling good is underrated.
Totally. So with all these intricate clues our bodies are giving us, where does an assessment like this usually start? How do they begin to unravel that story for a golfer?
Well, it really all kicks off with a thorough physical screen. And this isn't just ticking boxes.
It's really about understanding what your body is genuinely dealing with. Before you even think about swinging a club. What's cool is how interactive these initial tests are.
Interactive how?
Well, they're designed to show fundamental movement patterns and, importantly, any restrictions you might have hiding in there.
Okay, so give us some examples. What do these key assessments actually look like?
Sure. So they'll look at your posture, specifically in a 5-iron posture.
Okay, that familiar setup.
Exactly. Then they use this really vivid analogy. Imagine your belt is a bucket of water,
Huh.
and they ask you to dump it forward and backward. Just that simple move assesses your pelvic tilt. It instantly shows where your pelvis naturally sits. Is it tilted way forward or way back?
That bucket analogy really makes it click. Okay, so posture first, pelvic tilt. Where do they go from there?
Rotation is usually next. They might ask you to do this twist in the barrel exercise.
In the barrel.
Yeah, without moving your shoulders.
Yeah.
It isolates your upper body rotation, your thoracic spine. Then they might have you sit down with your knees together to really isolate hip rotation.
Ah, I see. So separating upper body from lower body rotation.
Exactly. Because that's crucial for figuring out if your power is coming from the right places, hips, trunk, or if you're maybe compensating somewhere else.
Makes sense. What about things like flexibility, mobility?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Big part of it. There are tests like how low can you squat while keeping your hands over your head.
Okay, I can picture that.
That one test immediately flags potential issues in your ankles, your hips, or your thoracic mobility, how well your upper back can rotate and extend.
And they check side-to-side differences too.
For sure. Comparing ankle flexibility, left versus right, checking for imbalances that can mess up your setup or your weight shift, and arm rotations, both arms back together, then one at a time, all in that 5-iron posture. That reveals shoulder mobility and, again, thoracic spine stuff.
So it's really getting into the nitty-gritty, not just the big muscle groups.
Totally. It's about the subtle movements that allow a proper swing. And for spinal health, they might look at raising a leg with your palms up versus down. They can check for nerve issues. Extending arms straight up, rotating your head to try and touch your collarbone that checks neck range of motion. And there's the head against the wall, arms up test.
What does that one show?
It shows if your lower back arches way off the wall, that could mean an anterior pelvic tilt is pulling you forward, or maybe you have tight lats. All these little things add up to give a full picture.
It's kind of amazing how much detail they can get before anyone even swings a club. So what's the real payoff then? Why go through all this?
Well, the payoff is huge, really. All these tests feed into that golf fitness handicap we talked about.
Right.
Any restrictions or pain or imbalances they find here, those can directly mess with your ability to get into the right swing positions. And that obviously impacts your score, your consistency, your enjoyment.
And I guess those physical limits often lead to swing compensations, right?
Exactly. You find workarounds. They might work for a bit, but usually they lead to inconsistency or they cap your power or worst case, they lead to injury down the road.
Okay. And it doesn't stop at just the physical screen, the static tests. You mentioned power testing too.
Yeah, that's the next level. You move beyond just assessing movement quality to measuring actual force production. That often involves tools like force plates.
Force plates, right. Measuring ground reaction forces.
Precisely. That's where you see how much power you're really generating. Lower body, core, upper body, the whole engine of the swing.
Yeah.
It puts numbers on your power output.
And what's really wild is how they use all this data. We learned that after the screen and the power tests, an AI system actually builds a personalized workout plan.
Yeah, based on your specific results.
But then, and this is key, a human expert reviews that AI plan and sometimes adds extra exercises based on their experience. It's like this great combo of high-tech data and human know-how.
It's a smart approach. Best of both worlds.
Okay, so let's dig into the first case study. This is the golfer who actually won the Golf Fitness Handicap Challenge. So physically quite capable on paper.
Right, impressive baseline.
But they also had this significant underlying issue, a potential herniated disc in the neck.
Yeah, that's a classic situation, isn't it? You've got someone generating serious speed. The source mentioned the club head speed of 124 miles per hour. That's tour level stuff.
Wow.
So it's really strong force generation. But at the same time, they're dealing with discomfort that points towards a potentially serious spinal issue.
So a herniated disc,
But
can you break that down? The source used an analogy.
yeah, the jelly donut analogy is pretty common and helpful. Think of your spinal discs like that donut. If the nucleus pulposus squirts backwards,
Okay.
compress on nerves or even the spinal cord, that pressure is what causes numbness or pain or weakness. And that feeling of discomfort shooting down your arms is a real red flag.
Got it. And while you'd need an MRI for a definitive diagnosis.
Right, but treatment often starts as if that's the case anyway. The goal is to get the pressure off the nerve, reduce symptoms, prevent more damage. For this golfer, the aim is clear. Become pain-free and more efficient so they can keep that speed, maybe even add more, safely.
It really drives home that performance isn't just raw power. It has to be sustainable, pain-free power. Now, for this golfer, a big issue identified was a reverse spine angle at setup.
Ah, yes, very common.
For listeners, that's when your upper spine is leaning away from the target at the top of the backswing instead of tilted slightly towards it. And the coach's take was that this setup flaw creates a kind of chain reaction.
It absolutely does. It causes compression and a ton of stress right on the neck, especially when you're going all out, swinging at 124 miles per hour.
So how did that setup problem affect the actual swing sequence, the kinetic sequence?
Good question. So the kinetic sequence, just to remind everyone, is that ideal energy transfer order. First, a little lateral shift, then a pelvic tilt or rock, then torso rotation or twist, and finally that big vertical push or jump.
Lateral, rock, twist, jump.
Got it. Okay, so this golfer showed an early lateral movement. They went lateral first, shifting sideways about 31% of their body weight. The tour average is more like 23%.
So too much sideways movement too early.
Exactly. And that can actually rob power from the later parts of the sequence. Then they tended to rock and twist at the same time, around 14% for each.
But pros usually rock more than they twist at that point.
Generally, yes. This twisting early can make your swing plane get too steep, making it harder to shallow the club properly coming down.
Interesting. And their vertical force. Strong, but room to improve.
Yeah, 167% of body weight is strong, no doubt. But the tour average is closer to 198%, so it's not far off, but definitely indicates potential for more vertical power.
And what was identified as the main weak link physically?
A weak left side was flagged as a big limitation. That kind of imbalance is often linked to things like the reverse spine angle and other compensations trying to make up for it.
Okay, so that's the diagnosis. What about the solutions? Did they see quick fixes?
They did, actually. A simple setup change, just shifting pressure slightly behind the ball at address, apparently instantly helped the swing.
Instantly. Wow.
Right. Led to better posture right away and, crucially, less neck stress. Sometimes small tweaks make a big difference.
That's huge. So beyond that immediate setup fix, what did the personalized workout target?
The workout really honed in on improving trunk and hip rotation. Addressing those limitations helps prevent compensations, like that reverse spine angle lean.
Makes sense. Attack the root cause.
And they also emphasized right side loading, that whole concept of load right to go left, making sure the sequence starts correctly.
How do you work on that?
A lot of it is about setup and pelvic position, getting your pelvis moving slightly right at setup to encourage a better transition. And the key advice was great. Don't move arms to get with move body.
Ah, generate width from the turn, not by reaching.
Exactly. Power from the core, the big muscles, not just flinging the arms.
And connecting this back to the neck, improving that trunk and hip rotation should take stress off the neck, right? By fixing the reverse spine angle.
Precisely. It addresses the underlying mechanical cause. And for long-term health, the message was crystal clear. Listen to your body.
Always good advice.
If therapy isn't cutting it, something needs to change. Don't just push through pain, because that's how things can progress towards needing surgery. They even mention practical things like using inexpensive cervical traction pillows at home to help relieve that nerve pressure.
Smart, simple interventions. Okay, let's shift gears to the second case study. This one highlights a totally different set of issues.
Yeah, shows how individual this all is.
For this golfer, the main problem wasn't really speed or a major injury risk. It was more fundamental, an alignment issue. They were aiming right.
And that creates all sorts of path problems, right? Because if you're aimed right, your body subconsciously tries to reroute the club to get the ball back towards the target.
Leading to compensations in the swing path.
Exactly. But the good news is, alignment is often relatively easy to fix. And the source said, fixing alignment changes ball flight pretty quickly. Simple setup changes led to better shots.
What else was going on with this golfer?
A big thing was an absent weight shift. They just weren't using their lower body effectively to start the downswing and generate power.
Okay, so how did they address that?
Pretty straightforward, conceptually. Start using the right leg and shift early in the swing, get that sequence going from the ground up.
And they used some interesting drills, something about football.
Yeah. Football throwing drills.
Yeah.
Which is actually a really clever way to pattern that athletic weight shift and rotation. Throwing ball naturally involves shifting weight and rotating through.
That's a cool athletic crossover. Did it help?
Apparently, yes.
Yeah.
It translated to better ground reaction force timing.
Ground reaction force timing, basically using the ground better to push off and power the swing.
You got it. Those drills help teach the body when and how to push off the ground more effectively. For this person, the focus for building speed wasn't overall power, it was specific. Improve strength in the lower body.
Why lower body?
Because they already have the upper body power. So again, it's targeted. Why waste energy on upper body stuff if the limitation is in the legs and the weight shift?
Very efficient. And the overall advice for this person?
Keep it simple. Create athletic swing patterns. And crucially, avoid technical overload. Don't get bogged down in a million swing thoughts. Feel the athletic movement.
Less thinking, more doing. I like it.
Me too. Often the best path.
Okay, so let's try and pull this all together now. We had two golfers, very different issues, potential herniated disc, alignment problems, weak left side, no weight shift.
Right, a real mix.
But despite those differences, the underlying goal for both was identical. Become pain-free and more efficient to get speed.
That's the common thread, isn't it?
Yeah, and it really highlights how a detailed, personalized screen finds those specific issues that, generic swing tips or exercises would just completely miss.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can't fix it. What you don't know is broken or limited. And this brings up a really important point for everyone listening, especially younger players.
Okay.
It's the critical importance of building foundational strength for the long haul. Specifically, building leg strength early.
Why legs specifically?
Well, it's not just about hitting it further now. Strong legs are directly linked to longevity and injury prevention, not just in golf, but in life. The source material even pointed out that weak legs lead to instability and risk of falls later in life.
Wow, okay, so strong legs for golf are also strong legs for life.
It's a huge investment in your future health and mobility. You're building a stable base.
So it really is about more than just bombing it off the tee today. It's about enjoying golf, staying active, avoiding injuries for decades.
Exactly. And maybe the most universal takeaway, doesn't matter your age or handicap, is listen to your body.
We heard that loud and clear in the first case study.
Yeah, it's such a simple truth, but we often ignore it. Our bodies send signals constantly. If you have pain, if therapy isn't working, that's a signal. Something needs to change. Don't just normalize the pain.
Because taking action, getting that early treatment, or changing the approach can stop things escalating towards, surgery or chronic problems.
Absolutely. Understanding your own physical strengths and limitations isn't just about swing mechanics. It's about making golf more fun, more sustainable, and ultimately helping you reach your potential without paying for it with pain.
So, wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you listening right now? Maybe consider this. What hidden physical limitation or maybe some unnoticed compensatory move you're making might be holding your game back?
Or even just causing you that unnecessary ache or discomfort.
Exactly. What could a personalized assessment potentially reveal and maybe even transform for your game and your health?